Welcome back to the coverage of the 2016 Yu-Gi-Oh! World Championship Qualifier, European Championship. Way too many words, right?
Yeah,
We should just call it Euros. Euros. That's all we have to say about it, and everybody knows what we're talking about.
yeah. We were doing some pre-recorded content yesterday, and I took like 3 takes to get the whole
Well, no,
World Championship qualifier,
the thing
Europe
is,
something else.
I always kind of get it right, but the thing is, you can do it in different ways. In my
Yeah.
opinion. Yeah. All right. Well, in this round, we got a real treat for you guys. And not just if you're a fan of Frenchmen, or if you're a fan of Germans, or if you're a fan of really good Yu-Gi-Oh! Either of these three will do. We got Eugen Haidt, the former European champion 2014, when we streamed for the first time, going up against the French national champion Kevin Semlali. Let's take a quick look at Kevin's road to this round 3. It's a very short road, of course, but still, we can see here he went up against Anwar Romero in the first round, who played Fire King Kozmo, and then he played against Matthew Mills, a player we have had on the stream, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, I think we have. I think he's from the UK.
Yeah.
We're missing a few of the nationalities that are slowly being inputted.
Yeah, but as you can see, we got those two guys. Let's take a quick look at Eugen on the other hand, who he went up against. So, got his history. There we go. That is Kempe Weibenga in the first round from the Netherlands, playing Kozmo. Then we had Cedar Pollard in the second round, Tzolkin Monarchs, and now it is him against Kevin Semlali. The round has already started 5 minutes ago, so we're a little bit behind the main round, and we don't want to lose too much time, so we can keep the time in between rounds as short as possible. So off we go with our round 3 feature match. There's a lot more things we can say about that. Let's take a quick look at those decks. You can see it below the names. Kevin playing Draco Performer Power and Eugen Pendulum.
Yep. So I did the which decks we were going to kind of split them up and the different splits and things like that. And the reason that Eugen didn't get put into one of these already predefined pendulum categories is because he's playing a lot of the different pendulum cards. He's playing Magispectors. He's playing a bit of Magicians. No pendulum calls, just Magicians and Skyres. And then he's also playing some Performer Pals with Eccentric Archfiend thrown in there as well, just for fun. The one big card I want to talk about is Mist Valley Apex Avian. Now, that we were talking about that with Ido earlier, actually. I was speaking with him. He said, oh, I don't really like it. And we see here, right from the start, that Eugen has opened up with double Apex Avian. That's the full 2 copies that he's playing. Now, if he is able to complete a scale and get both of these Avians on the field, then his opponents are not going to be able to play any Yu-Gi-Oh!
Oh. Let's see if he can do that.
Yep. So I think he can, because he has Bunbuku, which is going to search that remaining scale.
Yes,
actually,
that is already on the field.
Yep.
Just searched for Kirin.
Yep.
And
he's going to play Terraforming, probably to get a Skyrus. Yes, actually, yeah, this is the line of plays. He's going to play Terraforming, get Skyrus. Then he's going to play Skyrus on the Bunbuku, destroy the Bunbuku, go search for the final scale.
That's even better, right?
Yeah, even better. And then he's just going to Pendulum Summon all of the cards, and then his opponent's going to be very sad.
He's going to Pendulum Summon all of the cards.
All of the monsters.
Yes. Sometimes it's not so much what you say, it's how you say it.
Yeah, so I think he's probably going to Sky Iris. Oh, so first Magical Abductor, you know, because he doesn't need any more monsters to summon.
Yeah.
He's going to just add one more with Magical Abductor.
So
this deck makes me feel like a big flashback to the LLDS season last year.
Yeah, what this reminds me of is we've had so many interviews and people say, I don't want to break, I don't want to break. What they mean is that I want to have 5 cards that don't do anything on my opening end. This is the polar opposite, isn't it?
Yeah, I think Eugen... I played a very similar build to this deck.
That doesn't mean it's a good deck. Just point.
No, no.
No,
it doesn't.
Just kidding, just kidding.
It doesn't. No, it doesn't at all. I should have been playing the deck which made Naturia Beast and then just hoped. Instead, I didn't play that deck.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, the reason these cards are so good is because they just can negate anything.
Right.
And he's going to slowly but surely just place all of these cards on the field. About now is when Kevin's feeling really sad.
Yeah.
Because 2 of his cards are now useless.
Wow. Yeah, speaking of his cards, let's take a look. That is his opening. it's a bit lackluster, and I'm not saying that because he's playing Luster Pendulum. He is missing a few answers here, isn't he?
Yeah, well, it's not that he's missing the answers. It's just that
Not going first is the problem.
Yeah, Eugen is going to be able to resummon these Apex Avians, which can negate anything
Yeah.
over and over again.
Well, what is the exact? What do you need to do to negate anything?
So that I'll cut down the text a little bit.
Yeah.
The idea is that you return a Mist Valley monster from your field to your hand to be able to negate any effect.
Okay.
So you return itself.
Right.
To protect it so that it can't be having its effect negated.
And you can bring it back to the field a couple of more times.
Just keep pendulum swinging
Yeah.
every turn. So every turn he's going to have 2 negations.
Yeah. Okay.
Every
Here's an easy question. How do you get over this? Like, how do you get out of this lock?
He's got to be able to play through those 2 negations or some kind of board wipe.
Okay.
I don't know how he's going to do that.
That's a lot you're asking for.
Yeah, he's going to have to play through the 2 negations, break the scales of Eugen here, and then do his own pendulum summon and make some kind of unbreakable board.
All right. It's just a very quick 1-2-3 combo that he needs. Yeah, but let's see if he can get that. Do you see anything in his opening hand? Is there any suggestion that he can go all the way and get rid of this field?
I don't think so. I'm looking here. He's got quite a few. He's got quite a few options. Like if this was him going first, he has quite a few options. I mean, he's even making a Beast Dweller just in case.
Yeah,
just in case.
Just for the lols.
And just one more thing to note: these Avians are actually my favorite rarity of all time.
Oh,
they are between Dual Terminal 1 and 4, the spot rarity. So just for the quick note about me, that's my favorite rarity of all time.
In the corner of my eye, I can see Matt Bell starting to sweat a little bit because he's trying to get all the highlights, and just that first turn with all those cards hitting the table, that can
it's about a minute long.
Yeah, that can negate, like you said, pretty much anything that your opponent.
Wow, and now Effect Veiler.
Yeah, Eugen also drew into an Effect Veiler. That's, I don't know, 3 answers.
I think Kevin just says, yeah, it's time for game 2.
3 answers plus Dweller plus an impressive board. Yeah. So, riddle me this, Kevin Semlali. How do you get out of this situation?
I think double Dark Hole Regeki would be pretty good. Be pretty good. Double Dark Hole Regeki, Twin Twisters, discarding Graph. That would be...
I'm still waiting for a card that he actually has in his hand.
Yeah, which is none of them.
Okay. No, it's...
The cogs are turning right now in Kevin's brain.
Well, I know that winning the French National Championship was not an easy piece of work. You actually had to really bring your A game.
Yeah.
Alpay Engen was there, for example. I think he made it to the finals, but he lost in the finals to Kevin. So
Magical Abductor's scary. I don't think he's going to negate the first card. Generally, you don't. But
you could.
Yeah, you could. In all honesty, I would be happy to negate a Magical Abductor because it's provides long-term profit.
Right. So there we see a second
That's
eccentric.
Ashvin eccentric.
Yeah, Arcfin eccentric.
So that's giving him a full scale range of 3 to 7. So that's probably gonna get negated, or maybe not. I mean, let's be honest. Eugen, even if he keeps this field, he has a field of 2 sets of 2/7 monsters, a monster that can't be destroyed by card effects, and an Abyss Dweller, just to boot.
So you're saying he's probably still going to wait and say...
He could even wait, yeah.
I think he is. I think
it seems like it's resolved, yeah.
Yeah.
But I think Kevin's kind of sat there going, rats, I was expecting you to use some of your effects.
Yeah.
So now this is going to be one to negate. I'm
the Bunbuku.
Yeah, I'm almost sure of it. You want to try and limit your opponent's options here. But then again, Eugen might just leave it and think that's not gonna make me lose the game.
Still not good enough.
Yeah, it's still not good enough for my 2 Apex Avians.
I want to see your best shot.
Yeah, and then I'll negate it.
Yeah. Reminds me of this movie reference. I want you to hit me as hard as you can.
Yeah. Yeah, so there we go.
No, here is actual negation.
But I honestly, I'm sorry to say it, but I think Kevin should have just not bothered. You should just,
not give away what you're playing.
yeah, not give away what you're playing. Be like, oh damn, all of my BA monsters would have been negated, and
Yeah.
then take your cards.
It's basically, what is your win option in this game? Well, if my opponent falls asleep, I
Yeah.
got a really good shot.
Yeah. I don't know.
Yeah.
I think he needed that Millennium Puzzle that's not around his neck to suddenly start glowing and
Yeah.
draw some serious cards.
All right. So
Okay, here's a Pendulum
here's
Summon.
Pendulum Summon. Okay.
I think I don't know. I want to say that Eugen's kind of left it. He's left it a little much. He's going to be able to get a Dynastar here. Oh, sorry, he's going to go for Ignister. Still, Ignister's gonna be able to run over the Apex Avian. So I think Kevin has actually played this really well.
Okay.
I don't think it's like I don't think it's a winning position, but he's certainly in an okay spot right now.
Which is interesting because we didn't see that at first. We didn't expect him to end up in such a spot in the first place.
It's one of those things where I feel like he's fighting a losing battle. I feel like
he still thinks, even though this doesn't look too bad, it's not good enough.
Yeah, so he took the risk of, okay, let's just hope that I can make this play and get through it, because if I can, then I can win this game. But if not, then he kind of took that risk of showing his opponent his deck.
Yeah.
I mean, let's be honest, Eugen has effect for there as well, so it's not like he's going to be able to use that effect.
Yeah. All right, there's
The effect of Ignister, I mean.
Yep, there's the Dweller activation.
He's going to negate his own Abyss Dweller.
That's interesting.
That's a good move. That's a really good move.
I'm not saying it's a bad move. I'm just saying it's an interesting move.
Yeah, so he gets to keep a hold of those Avians. And what's probably going to happen is the Ignister is going to get Veiled.
So it's pretty interesting. Like, Eugen takes the damage, really doesn't mind taking the damage here.
No, it doesn't matter his setup.
He's saying, okay, I've seen all your cards basically. You only have one more card in hand. That is an effect Veiler. So that's fine by me. There we see main phase 2, getting rid of the Sky Iris. And off we go with Eugen's second turn.
So he didn't even use his effect Veiler. He's kept it.
Eugen?
Yeah.
He had to drop it.
Oh, did he?
Yeah,
I didn't see
the Iris is on top of it.
How did he destroy the Sky? Oh, he's destroyed it with eccentric Mad yeah.
Exactly, yes.
But yeah.
But that is it anyway. So
this is what I'm saying.
Like you said, it was.
That's frustrating. Why would you? I felt like he was that one man on the battlefield.
Yeah.
Instead of just running away and going, okay, I'll fight another day.
Yeah.
He ran into a.
He said, well, if you go down with style. That's probably what he must have thought. Okay.
Yeah.
That is the first game.
Yeah. Oh well. So let's see what we got in our side decks here.
Yeah. We got that game took 11 minutes, just in case you're wondering.
Yeah,
So
not quite Edo standards.
Nope, but plenty of time left in the round.
Yeah. So Kevin is playing the card which I believe. Now it's a shame that Eugen's not playing it. Otherwise, that would have validated my point a little more. But I believe that people are a little bit naive if they don't play this card this weekend, which is Typhoon.
Okay.
It's a really good card. It's stopping a lot of floodgates. If Secret Village is there, it stops that as well.
Right.
Because, it stops Secret Village. That's it.
That's a good reason to play it.
It's a good reason to play it, if only for that reason. Because you can't play spell cards. There's no other way to get rid of Secret Village other than monster effects or trap effects. And Typhoon is a trap effect. So I think it's naive not to play that. It's good against almost all of the decks in the meta.
Okay.
Even if it's just hitting your opponent's Brilliant Fusion, it's still really good.
Yeah.
So we see that from Kevin. That's really good.
Just Dark Hole and Raigeki.
Yeah, so if he had all three of those in his opening hand in the game one, he might have gone somewhere.
Yeah,
so,
but that's also highly unlikely.
Highly unlikely. His deck's really standard. He's playing 3 Typhoons, 3 Mystical Space Typhoons. He's playing a few strange kind of one-of Exceed Monsters, Pendulum Monsters, Odd Ice Pendulum Dragon, Eccentric Archfiend, 1 Space-Time Trap Hole. That's not a card we've seen for a while. And then Triple Maxi.
This is a shuffling technique that Eugen is displaying that you can only have if you've been in the feature match area for too many times, and the judge was constantly telling you, please don't look at the bottom of your deck. And
I always shuffle.
You shuffle sideways. Yeah,
really far away from my face.
Yeah. yeah, I'm not saying he did look under the bottom of his deck, but he just holds it in a weird way.
Yeah, to make sure he can't possibly.
Yeah.
Okay, so over to Eugens. He's playing the ever so popular Denko Seka.
Right. I've heard about this card.
Oh,
It is pretty good.
yeah.
It doesn't have a lot of friends.
No,
But,
no. Denko Seka. It's a little bit like Mario Kart.
Yeah, it's the blue shell basically.
It's the blue shell.
It really is. Yeah, I think that's a very good comparison, to be honest, because your opponent is far ahead, and I'm not talking about the Burning Abyss card, with 4 face down sets and then a monster or
Come at
something.
me.
Yeah, and you're just like, yeah, I do. Here's my blue shell, aka Denko Seka.
Yeah. He's really good.
Yeah.
I like Denko Seka a lot. He for those who don't know what Denko Seka's effect does, it basically says your opponent isn't allowed to play any of their face down cards.
It's a cold wave with legs.
It is a cold wave with legs and
And
arms and a sword.
on steroids.
Yeah, it's so good.
It's one of these cards that when you're operating the highlight machine and you see it hit the field, you're like, ah,
Highlight.
press
highlight.
that button. Yeah.
As well as Secret Village. So again, I think Eugen has taken the same attitude as Edo, where just terraforming. Terraforming is a big toolbox. You can go get Necro Valley. You can go get Secret Village with the spellcast. You can get Skyrus. Skyrus solves a lot of really unplayable hands in Pendulum.
Yeah.
Even when there was multiple Jokers and Monkey boards, still Skyrus was being seen played because it just solved a few of those really unplayable hands.
Right.
And you can play 3 Skyrus and 3 Terraforming, so essentially you're playing 6.
So Eugen is now done with the card game yoga, aka Weird Shuffling.
Yeah. He's also playing Spell Shattering Arrow, which is another one to talk about. He can shatter his opponent's pendulum scales.
Right.
It's definitely going to be one to go in.
Okay. So both players drew their opening 5. Our helpful guys behind the players, in case you're wondering, those two are not typing up like a live ticker of the game. They are actually typing up what cards they have in their hands. Ryan tends to be a little bit more experienced, that's why he's a little bit faster. And, well, 2 copies of Eccentric.
Yeah.
Kirin, Oath Dragon Magician, and Magical Abductor. Not quite as good as the opening hand in game 1. Whereas Kevin, we do see some of the sideboarded cards. Among them, a Typhoon.
So exactly. That's a great card to have in this opening hand. I think Kevin probably chose to go first. Yes, he did. He chose to go first. When you know your opponent's playing the build with Apex Avians, there's no choice but to go first.
All right.
Even with those Typhoons in.
Even with those cards where you normally need the 6 card in hand, you're saying, no, I don't need it that much. Because
you got to go first.
Yeah.
Because this exact move. So Bomboku increases, that's a +1. Because Muku's, even at this stage, it's going to go to the extra deck and come back and continue to gain card advantage here. Eugen seems to be yawning.
Yeah, Eugen is not impressed yet. That's definitely a highlight.
That's definitely a highlight.
Right.
Eugen having a quick yawn. And then we see, I think that is...
we got Painful Decision at first. That was activated.
I'm singing my Draco Slayer song that makes me remember what all of them do. Lust, Electa, Vector, and that was Master. So we played Painful Decision to send Master to the graveyard and then place Master on the field. Immediately with the Archune Eccentric, creating that pendulum scale. And then we see a Kirin going to swing into action onto the field.
Ooh. And a second Typhoon in hand for Kevin?
A couple of
he set those just
double,
now.
yeah,
Yeah,
double
of course.
Typhoon.
He just basically put all his cards on the table. He said, the days when cards in your hand mattered in Yu-Gi-Oh! Are over.
Yeah.
And with that, over to you. So that is Eugen's turn now.
Yeah, so I saw a couple of people in the Twitch chat there saying, oh, I would side out the Apex Avians. I agree there. I completely agree that the Apex Avians probably should have come out.
You only like them for the surprise effect?
I think for the turn 1, game 1.
Right. And then after that they come out?
Probably, yeah. And maybe even go back in game 3 if you're taking a risk.
Right.
If you're taking a
It
risk.
depends on how lucky you're feeling then.
Yeah, exactly. So we see Eugen here is going to want to try and play 3 spell cards to get this Magical Abductor up and running. So for those who don't know what Magical Abductor does, each time a spell card, this is both of the effects when it's a monster and when it's a pendulum card. It does roughly the same thing. You place one spell counter on each time a spell resolves, and then you can remove 3 counters once per turn to add a pendulum monster from your deck. And when it's a monster form, you get to add a spellcaster type monster from your deck to your hand. So it's got the same kind of counters removal effect, but the add is a different card.
It's a bit like Skilled Dark Magician or Skilled White Magician.
Yeah, Skilled Dark Magician, yeah.
Just playing with a bit like the modern version
The
of
modern
it.
version, yeah.
Yeah, so it's not like, oh yeah, I'm going to get this very old Dark Magician out of the cupboard or something. Nope.
This hand is actually really crazy. He's got double Magical Abductor counting up here. he's counting up to double Magical Abductor. So the first one will have hit the second one, and then both of them get the one from Eccentric.
Trigger for the third, yep.
And then Eccentric's going to probably use its effect to try and take out one of those back rows. And then they're just going to keep counting up.
So that's going to be a flood of cards, a stream of cards that Eugen is going to see here.
Yeah, so I think that's the Pendulum Summon. So he's probably going to, he wants to save the Eccentric until he's Pendulum Summoned, because he doesn't know whether he's going to be able to keep a level 7, a rank 7, scale 7. That's the word I was looking for. I'd used every word but the right one.
It gets
scale
more,
7.
It gets more complicated with every new card type.
Yeah, level, rank, synchro tuners, what? But we see a Typhoon.
And that's why it's a good card.
Yeah, so he just leaves the Typhoon there. And now I'm sure that... I think that Kevin probably played that quite well. He thought to himself, I'm just gonna wait until my opponent tries to use one of these good pendulum effects.
Right.
So I think that other Typhoon's probably gonna come into play before the other Magical Abductor gets used. So let's see what I can go searching for here. He's gonna search for a level 3 spellcaster monster.
Here we go. And he just needs another spell activation to trigger
the third counter.
Pendulum. He's got an effect Veiler added to his hand.
Yeah, so that's what he went and got with Magical Abductor.
It's probably not as good as an Avian, but it does get the job done.
Yeah. Yeah, so his hand's nowhere near as strong as last game. So I think Eugen here, he's got an Oath Dragon Magician as well. Not really much use without being able to, combo that with the other Magician cards. With the Odd Eyes, the Odd Wisdom Eye Magician, that's what it's called. Wisdom Eye Magician and the Dragon Pit Magician as well. Those are the kind of, they all combo together, the Magician trio.
Yeah.
Alongside the Performer Pal cards and the Odd Eyes cards. So Oath Dragon being the small scale. So we still see the Archer and Eccentric here. So what happened was Kevin decided, okay, I need to try and get rid of that Magical Abductor sooner rather than later.
Yeah, like you said, definitely not as good an opening as it was in the first game.
No, I think both players kind of had a reasonable amount here, but also their opponent had a reasonable amount. They kind of even power levels here.
Balance things out between them. Fair play to them.
Yeah. So let's see where Kevin decides to go. Yeah, it's tough to talk about the plays that a Pendulum deck can make, because they're usually a lot of different plays.
Yeah.
I think both players right now, they both have Kirin. They both have completed Pendulum scales. They're just going to be able to kind of deal with stuff, Kirin over and over again. So for those who don't know what Kirin does, you can bounce a Pendulum monster from your side of the field to... actually, I think it's a win monster. To return that monster you targeted on your side of the field and one monster on your opponent's side of the field. So that's very disruptive.
All right. So Kevin has both of his scales, of course. Thinking about what to do next. Another Kirin in hand. What would you be doing? What's the best move in this situation?
I think he's not really got much choice. He's just got to Pendulum Summon that other Kirin and kind of sit on them and hope that he can draw some even better cards.
Right.
He's probably going to take out that Magical Abductor on Eugen's side of the field at the very least. That's what he's going to do, because he doesn't want that counting up for free. He wants to make it so that Eugen has to Pendulum Summon before that starts counting up.
Yeah. All right. Now suddenly just a few cards left. Not like at the very beginning.
Yeah. So
Still more things are happening.
yeah, both players have kind of converted their hand to the field now, and then they're just.
There's an effect Veiler from Eugen.
No, he didn't play effectively. He hit the Archfiend eccentric with his opponents. So Kevin
Oh,
played Archfiend eccentric on
yeah, my bad.
on
Sorry.
Eugen's, and there's the Upstart Goblin from Eugen, the one copy of Upstart Goblin.
The first card in his graveyard.
Yeah, there's a Turbo Pack one as well. Ah, okay. So Eugen's the one who's got some traction here. The first person to be able to get some traction in this game, as long as this Sky Iris manages to stick around. But as we know, Kevin's got a Typhoon face down. I don't know about Kevin, but I certainly wouldn't want that Sky Iris sticking around for too long.
And he kind of seems to agree.
Yeah, he's kind of looking at it here.
Double-checking.
I think he's checking to see whether Sky Iris can target the Kirin, which you can target your own Magic Spectre monsters, but your opponent's not allowed to.
Yeah.
But yeah, in all honesty, that was one of those moments where I would have immediately just gone, no, I don't want Sky Iris. Let's not keep Sky Iris around.
And that concludes the turn for Eugen. So not.
Yeah, he's just going to pass.
Kevin is definitely in the driver's seat here.
Definitely.
For the time being, he just needs something that can help him to drive it home.
Yeah, I think both players are kind of waiting for a traction card, and
I think we got it now.
the Sky Iris was one. He just needed a bit. Okay, so Kevin has Draco Face Off here. That's going to be able to complete a pendulum scale, but again, he's not got a full extra deck. His extra deck's not really, full to the brim. Let's say there's not much in there. I'm not, it's not the kind of time where we think to ourselves, yeah, he's just going to play all the pendulum cards from his extra deck and then be able to win. It's not really completely full. But he does have an Archfiend Eccentric in there. With that being level 3, though, it's kind of it's unsummonable with the Draco Slayer cards because the lowest rank they go down, the lowest scale they go down to is 3.
3, yeah.
I just really like Kirin. I played Kirin in my build of Pendulum when I played it in the LLDS series, and it's just really good. It's so disruptive. It's so disruptive. Your opponent can't actually remove it very easily.
Yeah, it tends to stick around for that reason.
Yeah. And even when it gets dealt with, you can just continually destroy it. Actually, that's a really, really clever play. Oh, maybe not. I thought that Lecter, if that's Lecter.
Yeah, it is. Master, you get a little bit of everything here, to be honest. Master, Lecter, Luster, and the 2 Kirins on Kevin's side of the field.
I think I'm misremembering what Lecter actually does.
All right, so here's a Pendulum Summon, bringing something back. Looking good for Kevin. Like Eugen without a field, draws for his turn. Now has 4 cards in hand. One of them, Effect Veiler, not really strong when you're trying to push. Only good when you're trying to protect.
Yeah, and Dynasty here, he's going to be able to just sit there and protect his scales, which is nice. Yeah, I misremembered what Lecter did. I thought it was negating even cards, even just any pendulum effect on the field, but it's not. It's only the face-up monsters.
So what can Eugen do here?
I think he's got to complete a scale and try and start building up some field presence. I mean, we can open our eyes and look and see that Kevin, he's got a full scale. He's got 3 monsters on the field, one of them being Kirin, which is disruptive. So Eugen at this point just has to start making some moves. He needs to get some pendulum summoning on the go and actually just get some board presence back. Now, this set of pendulum scales that Eugen has here is actually really, really good because it allows him to summon archery and eccentrics. That's going to slowly but surely take away the monsters.
How so?
That because of the effect of archery and eccentric, you can tribute it to destroy a monster on your opponent's side of the field.
Right.
Now that again gets around Lecter.
Yeah.
Like Lecter only negates face-up monsters, so because it's tributed, it doesn't get negated because it's no longer on the field. Oh, even better, Eugen decides to tribute summon the Kieran.
But wait, there's more.
But wait, there's more. And he's probably going to attack into the Master just for a little bit of damage. There's no reason not to attack into it, really. Eugen's actually got the perfect pendulum scale here.
And how likely is it that you draw into that?
Well, I guess he already had the Oath Dragon Magician. He just needed a big scale. So he kind of had the good one already. He just needed a big scale.
Yeah. Okay. That is it? That is it. Looks a lot like it, is it?
Yeah, that looks like it, is it? I don't know how that game ended.
Well, Kevin won, according to the information below the names.
Okay, so Kevin, yeah, I think Kevin had a reasonable sized pendulum summon next turn.
Yeah. And
So
Eugen was be able to tell what was coming.
yeah, I think you remember last game we were talking all about, oh, you don't want to just give your opponent the information and all that kinds of stuff. I think Eugen was able to make that much more rash decision of just, I'm done here. I need more time in game 3. Let's just go.
Speaking of time in game 3, we now got 30 minutes on the clock, so just 10 minutes remaining for those two guys in their last game.
Yeah.
Anything else we didn't cover last time when talking about the side decks?
No, I think that overall both players have a reasonable amount of spell destruction here, so it's just a matter of who can get that field presence, fill up their extra deck more quickly, and Eugen might even decide to put the Kierans back in and try for the Kierans, the Apex Avians back in, and take a chance.
Basically won him the first game.
Yeah, exactly. I remember back in the format, the Avian was kind of really widespread. It was seen as if you have Avian plus Kieran, that's just it. That's 2 disruptions. Generally in the game of Yu-Gi-Oh, it's like 1 disruption you can play through, but anything more than about 1 disruption, so 2 is kind of that's still mildly playable if I have a good hand. 3 is into the territory of just
no longer doable.
Let's pick up my cards and go home.
Unless you just have the best opening hand ever. That is that's pretty much it.
I think so. We talk about this a lot with the various players. They kind of some of them take that opportunity of, oh, I'm going to build my deck in such a way where I might just absolutely destroy people every now and again, but some games I might not get a very good hand.
Yeah.
And I think Eugen, so I was saying 2 disruptions does this, 3 does this. I think Eugen, if he manages to pendulum summon Kieran and double Avian during turn 1, like, that's just it. There's just not much that the fat lady would be singing away at that point.
All right.
So let's have a look at what Eugen. So Kenny opens the Avian.
He did side it back in case he sided it out. That's one of the questions we might want to ask him after the match.
Yeah.
Any other surprises in your opinion?
Just Eugen here. Just having the cards again.
I feel like we're sending the wrong message. We've earlier had Ido Marcus, and we were like, wow, this is one of the best hands. Now we got Eugen, and we're like, wow, this is an amazing hand. It gives people a feeling of, oh, you want to be a European champion? You need to draw really, really well.
Yeah, well, I just think the Pendulum deck it's been completely off people's radar for a while now. It's not like it's gone away completely, but it's not been seeing many tops. And I think that it's actually a really, really consistent version of this deck, and we're seeing it in the shape of Eugen's deck and Ido's deck. And yeah, it seems to be it's not a joke when I say that Eugen is one of the best players in Europe. Same with Ido. They're the best players, and they're the ones playing this deck.
Yeah,
they could pick. It's not like oh, I had this one lying around. Let me play this one. They spent time building these decks.
Yeah, but it's always very interesting when you see that because we do have some people winning the bigger competition who haven't really won anything before that,
Yeah.
and sometimes, unfortunately, won't win again. Sometimes it has something to do with the format that somebody's just really comfortable in one format but not
Yeah,
in the other
that's
format.
true.
Because I've had this conversation this morning with Yuri Lanzmann, who we've got a couple of times on the stream, always playing creative decks. And I asked him what's up, and he said, "It's just not my format. Like,
Yeah.
I know
No,
what
I
the
can. I
I know what the popular decks are. I know how to play them, but I'm not making the correct moves for the most part. Like, if I'm closing my eyes and just playing what I want to play, I'm not making the right moves because that's not what this format is asking for. You need to play differently."
yeah.
And so he said, "I picked a fun deck. I just decided yesterday on a deck, and that's what I'm going to play for the sole reason that I want to have fun because I know I'm not going to be that successful."
Yeah. Earlier we had Ida say, "Oh, I like playing Pendulum. That's why I played Pendulum."
Yeah,
But that's just Ida.
I was about to say,
Ida
yeah.
does that.
Eno is a very special case.
Yeah. I guess Eugen here must have taken the same approach. I wanted to play this deck, so that's what I played.
He never struck me as a I'm feeling lucky kind of guy.
I don't think this deck's lucky by any means. I just think that this build, I've not tested this exact build here, and I just think that they've got to the point now where they have a build that's really consistent and really strong. The problem with the Pendulum deck used to be that you couldn't complete the hands very well. The scales.
Yeah.
And if I did mean complete your hands, like you might have kind of 5 pieces of a really amazing 6-piece hand. All it would take was one draw to make that hand from nothing into absolutely everything you could
Yeah.
ever want.
Yeah, it's true. We have seen that, yeah.
So his very standard play here. This he's got Apex Avian and he's got Kieran and he's got Monkey Board in hand. Even if his opponent just removed everything, like
He's just
from
coming
this board,
back.
he could come back.
Yeah, that monkey board is a really good card.
Monkey Board is pretty good.
That's a pretty big understatement, but yeah. We've seen that in the first round with Ido Marcus, where he basically apologized for having that
Yeah,
card.
sorry for having Joker Monkey Board.
Yeah. It's no longer just kidding.
Yeah.
All right, let's see what Kevin is up to here.
So Kevin's got a lot of Pendulum monsters. He can complete quite a few scales in that hand. Kieran's a 5, Master's a 3. I think Bumbuku is small as well. I can't remember Flash Knight. I think Flash Knight's big.
7.
Yeah, so he's got a reasonable amount of pendulum scale. Like he can build a pendulum scale.
Yeah. And where does he go from there?
I think he's just got a pendulum summon everything. Okay, so he's gone with Unicorn, which is a big scale. It's 8, and Kieran, which I think it's Kieran.
Yeah, it is.
Which is a 5, so he can do between 5 and 8. That seems strange. Why he didn't do a 3?
The Kieran is a 2.
Oh, sorry. Okay. Yeah,
Unicorn is an
completely mixed
8.
that up. Completely mixed that up.
No problem.
Yeah, so
I know you like to play with these little comic horses, so it's easy to mix them up.
yeah, there's quite a few unicorns in this deck, and it's just really strange. So yeah, that's a big scale. I've changed my mind. Why did I think Kieran was 5? I'm just going crazy. So 2 and 8. He can summon everything in his deck.
That's normally a pretty good
Yeah.
attempt.
Yeah, so there we go. Don't think he negated... I don't even know what he negated. I just now see that Avian's gone. I think he might have negated Bumbuku's effect.
I'm trying to figure that out, but...
Yeah, anyway, he negated something, and now the
Yeah.
field looks exactly the same.
Yeah,
So-
Aiden is back on his hand.
Yeah, so... Kieran's just a problem. Kieran is a problem for for Kevin right now, because he, like, in an ideal world, you would overlay it into, like, Castell or something and deal with the Odd Eyes Unicorn. Again, it doesn't matter. Eugen's already set up. I don't know why we're talking about this. Eugen is already set up. He's got a monkey board in hand. He can do whatever he wants.
if it goes off. But there's nothing that Kevin can do to stop him.
Nah, there's no reactive cards here.
At least not yet. Is there something that he could bring out that would stop him?
Even like, okay, put it this way: his only choice is monsters, and his opponent has a Kieran on the field. So whatever okay, so Magister, yeah, that's going to activate effect and be able to search Joker or Monkey Board in the end phase, but he's probably going to use Kieran and get rid of it.
Right.
So that's the problem. Any Exceed monster versus Kieran, Kieran always wins because it just gets sent away.
Yeah, pretty good card.
Yeah, Kieran is really, really good.
It doesn't really seem like a big problem to get out of such a sticky situation if you have the right cards. But
it looks pretty fabulous as well, let's be honest.
Yeah.
Look at it. It's got a nice little red gown going on. It's all like, look at my unicorn.
It's like Super Horse.
Yeah. Yeah, Eugen's all like, look at my horse. My horse is amazing.
All right. So it's still Kevin's turn, right? I'm not.
Yeah, Kevin's holding on here.
Yeah.
I think he used the Kieran against Dynaster because Dynaster's gone. I mean, Dynaster's pretty big, so there's not a chance of Eugen just randomly attacking you over that.
Yeah.
I still think Eugen has Monkey Board, and Monkey Board's pretty good. So
he's gonna get another card when it's his turn.
Yeah. Okay.
He's already
So he gets Joker in M phase. As I said, he's gonna get Joker in M phase.
He's using this very special question to the opponent. Are you done?
You done?
Turn? Yeah. Let me show you how it's
He's like Eugen's got Sky Iris as well. We're going over things, but he's got everything. You can Sky Iris the Kieran. He can go search whatever scale he wants. His extra deck's full of stuff. He's got Apex Avian in hand still. Just Eugen just has so many things.
Let's take a look.
Yeah, so he went and searched for Odd Eyes Fusion from the Sky Iris. He's fused from the extra deck. When your opponent has a monster that's been summoned from the extra deck, you can fuse with Odd Eyes Fusion with monsters from your extra deck. So you put 2 Exceed monsters in your extra deck that can make the Odd Eyes monster. So I think he sent Odd Eyes, the Odd Eyes Pendulum Exceed monster, and I can't see what the other one is. I can't see what the other one is. I think it vaguely looks like number 38, but I don't know. Anyway, so Monkey Board's probably going to go get Joker or something.
A Vortex Dragon on the field and the Unicorn, of course.
Yeah, so the Vortex Dragon.
Vortex Dragon, always Vortex Dragon.
Yeah, so the Vortex Dragon can negate things by sending face-up extra deck monsters back to the deck. Or is it to the graveyard? I can't remember which one it is. Anyway, just look at the field from Eugen here.
Yeah.
This is just crazy.
Screenshot this.
Yeah.
And
Eugen's
pointing it out. Yeah,
Eugen's just like, come on.
It's quick maths for Yu-Gi-Oh players.
Yeah.
Point, you're dead.
Yeah.
This is what it comes down to.
Yeah.
And wow, like it didn't at first look like it's going to be a convincing 2-0 victory.
No.
But I didn't have a feeling like Eugen was ever in fear of winning this game, to be honest.
No, I don't think he ever. He knew where he was going. He planned for the future.
Yeah.
He made some really good investments. In that game.
I mean, you said that earlier. How big is it going first in these matches? It seemed to be playing a pretty big role here.
Yeah. So just being able to produce a puzzle on the field that your opponent has to try and resolve this puzzle. They have to try and solve this puzzle of how do I get past one negation plus 1 Kieran? That's the puzzle, and you got to work it out.
That's a bit much.
That's a tough puzzle.
So you said earlier that they have found a very consistent version of this deck.
Yeah.
What are the exact changes when you compare it to the previous versions of this deck?
Yeah. So I think the big changes for me. So Magical Abductor wasn't very. I'm talking quite a while ago.
Yeah.
Now, by the way.
Okay.
Quite a while ago. So Magical Abductor wasn't really used. People kind of toyed with Sky Iris. They didn't really, a lot of people will be like, oh, I was using Sky Iris for ages, but, people kind of toyed with it for a while. No one kind of absolutely said, "This is the one. This is the card."
Yeah.
It was all about toying with Sky Iris, and now it's got to this point where people are just like, "Yeah, I got to play 3 terraforming. I
Yeah.
have to play 3 terraforming. I got to put Secret Village in the side deck." Like, I bet that came in. It must have come in by Eugen here. And yeah, so we see 2 very different builds of
In
Pendulum
theory,
decks.
the same deck, yeah,
Yeah.
of a similar archetype.
Same with Edo. If you compare Edo's deck to either of these, because Edo was playing more Magispectors, he was playing a lot more Magispectors than both of these guys. Very different decks.
Yeah.
Very, very different decks.
What is your favorite version of the deck?
I love Apex Avian. So I'm a little biased.
Yeah, yeah, okay.
I really, really love Apex Avian. Apex Avian and Kirin are just... They're just a problem. If you're facing down an Apex Avian and a Kirin, it's really sad.
It didn't do much in the third game just now, did it?
Well, I think so. It was...
Yeah, well, yeah, I'm comparing it to the first
Oh,
game.
to the first game? No,
yeah,
no.
But generally speaking,
Generally
yes,
speaking,
it's still put in some work.
Yeah, but it's like, instead of being able to just play my cards, I've got to really think about, okay, well, I get to rip this one up and throw it away because it's getting negated. Oh, this monster's going to get bounced away. I can't exceed summon because of that. Like,
it's
in a kind of in
it's
a
just
way,
too much. Yeah,
in a way, that's what Kirin does. It says you can't exceed summon because immediately it's just going to get bounced away back to the extra deck.
And how do you recover from a defeat in the third round? I mean, it was an
pretty
okay start. Like, both of these players were 2-0 at the beginning of the match. Now, Eugen is well on course with a 3-0, whereas Kevin is now at a 2-1.
Yeah, I think it's all about mentality of the players. So Jared, for example, last round, who lost last round very, very closely.
Yeah.
I went and spoke to him while the interview was going on with our winner. And I was just saying to him, like, oh, there was some really cool plays. He made some really great plays with those with the Tzolkin combos, and he was telling me all about Mega Zabog before the tournament. He's like, "This is the one," and I was like, "That seems a bit weird. That's a little strange." He's like, "Oh no, look," showing me kind of how that worked.
I can do things.
Yeah, look at all this cool stuff, and I was like, oh, okay, that seems interesting. And I was waiting to be able to watch the match. I got to watch the match. It's really cool. And when we'd finished talking, he went, "Don't worry about it. I've lost my match, but I'm gonna go and win the rest. Don't worry about it.
Oh, okay.
And I'll see you later." And
big,
I was like,
big words.
I was like, nice one. And that's just kind of how Jared is. He's quite confident.
Yeah.
Whereas we sometimes see people leaving the feature match area thinking, "Oh, I've just lost on stream. Oh, my life is over, and I need to go and."
I've actually seen
drop
that. There are people that hold us personally responsible for that.
Yeah.
Like, you picked the feature match. I'm coming after you, and I'm like,
Yeah.
just do my job, man.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. Well, interesting match.
Yeah.
Another one-sided affair, I would say.
Yeah.
Even though
both matches we've watched today have been quite one-sided.
yeah, although Kevin did win the second game.
Yeah.
Gotta give him that.
Yeah, we gotta give him that, definitely.
So yeah, it was a little bit more contested than the other matches before that.
Yeah, and we got to see Typhoon as well.
And
Typhoon's probably going to be my favorite card in this tournament.
What? Let's talk about that a little bit later. Let's take first a short break, and then we're going to try and get a hold of Eugen. So we can interview him real quick and ask him a couple of questions about his deck choice for this weekend. So don't go anywhere. We're going to be right back.